That's me. No, not Al Roker. This guy. I used to work in the crazy world of television at ESPN and NBC's Today Show. Now I'm at Citrix exploring the crazy world of technology. In the old days, only IT geeks in the back room knew what tech was and how to use it. But now tech has gone from geek to chic. It's everywhere in our daily lives. So now we need to know how it works. But what the tech is this stuff? Join me as we learn what the tech is out there, making us the experts in technology.
Where's Good morning. Morning. So you guys got a little taste of Florida winter. Enjoy it because that's about all you're going to get. It'll be nice and muggy tomorrow. Um, Welcome to the close of ServTech 2019. I want to thank each and every one of you for spending this extra day here with us, learning more about our products and our solutions, and joining us here for this final close. So one more extra day than our sellers. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. We tend to work a little bit harder than our sellers anyway, so. So what did you think about our unified global summit ServTech? What did you think? Did you like it? So I know it's only a few months ago that we were together in each of the geos for our individual ServTechs. So I do really want to give a warm thank you to all of the individuals that were responsible for putting this event together. It was a colossal task because you think about the short timeline, closing the quarter, closing the year, holidays, and then get ready to kick off 19 with ServTech and Summit. It was a lot of work. So if you were a participant in ServTech, whether it's logistics, coordination, or even a facilitator of a session, could you please stand up real quick? Stand up so we can clap. Come on, there's more than that. There's more than that. Thank you. Hey, as I always say, ServTech is for you, by you, because it's very important that we learn from each other and that we share our best practices across the globe. And as I mentioned a couple days ago on the big stage, it was great to see everybody collaborating, meeting people that they've just known electronically for so long. And I really think that's what makes these events special. So thank you. And should we do it again next year? Awesome, because the planning starts now. So since we have everybody here, we've got our partners and we've got our SEs and services professionals from across the globe. I thought it would be a great opportunity to actually acknowledge all of our SEs of the year across the globe on one stage. So that way we can all acknowledge these individuals. I know they received their awards at their geo events, but I thought it'd be nice to bring them up just one more time. So yesterday, I'll start with basically our top attainer, which was rewarded and acknowledged yesterday on the big stage. If you hear your name, you know who you are. Can you make your way up to the stage? So the top attainer globally for SE of the Year was Lars Novak. Are you here? Are you here, Lars? That's what happens. Take your money and run, right? Take your money and run. Okay, that means the second top attainer of, no, I'm just kidding. All right, so that is, again, top attainment. So that's one of the line items. That means, he was kind of the ace in terms of bringing in the dollars. But as you all know, well, maybe you don't, but we do have an SE of the Year in each of the geos, which takes into account attainment, but a lot of other things go into it as well, because we know that to do this job effectively, you have to be well-rounded. You've got to be a leader from an enablement standpoint. You've got to work above and beyond, and you also have to attain. So hopefully these three gentlemen are here. I'd like for you to come on stage. We're going to take a quick picture, and we'll give them a round of applause at the end when they all come up. So from the Americas, Jason Minsher. Jason, come on up. From EMEA, Luigi Cementi. And from APJ, Scott Fordham. All right, that's great. All right, so now to the meat of the show. So raise a hand. How many of you in the room submitted a demo for the Demo Warrior competition? Oh, it's got to be more than that. So we have a treat for you today. We have our 5 finalists here, and for the first time ever, we're going to do the demos with a live studio audience. So you guys are going to be able to watch it and see it. What do you think about that? Hey, so if you did not raise your hand, let me tell you a little bit about what these individuals had throughout their journey. So first and foremost, when they were picked as finalists, we flew them all to Santa Clara to participate basically in a week-long event. First, they got some excellent coaching on presentation skills from an outside coach to really fine-tune the way they presented and what their decks looked like, which is invaluable. Second, they get to spend a day in our industry analyst days, kind of sitting in the back, listening to our analyst questions, listening to our leaders talk about the future of our company. It's really a great treat. Then they were able to get one-on-one coaching with Sridhar, really thinking about, hey, here are the products that we've designed. Show me how you show them to our customers. So a lot of, again, additional information that came through that. And then to wrap that all together, on Friday of that week, we took them up to Napa and we did some wine tasting for a day, which was great. So if you guys like those things, I'd encourage you to submit your nominations. All right, so I'm over time, but because that clap was, I left out the most important part. Well, actually, that's not true. A day in Napa is fun. But to me, the most important part is, does anybody have any idea what the winner will receive? Money, that's right. How much is key? The winner will walk away with 10% of their total compensation. Not bad. Not bad. And here to help me and actually MC the event is our Chief Product Officer, PJ Hawk.
Nice job, nice job. Welcome everybody to, can I say, my favorite event at Summit and ServTech. I absolutely love this. Not many people know this, but before I joined here, and even before Microsoft, I started my career in pre-sales and technical sales. And I know what a good demo looks like because they win deals. And so I'm a huge fan of the hard work that you guys do with the products. Having great products is a great start. But if you can't convert that into a message that the customer understands, that's in their language, it really doesn't go very far. So I have the privilege of hosting today, but before we start, I have a VIP special guest sitting in the front row. For those of you who follow me on Twitter, and if you don't, you should, because it's an awesome storm of tweets about Citrix. I don't tweet about politics. I don't tweet what I had for breakfast. It is just, but anyway. If you follow me, you'll know that yesterday I had the privilege of meeting a young woman here from the Netherlands who is here with her dad, who's a partner. She is on an internship with that company right now, and she's in the midst of that internship. And she's here at Summit to actually learn. And so I'd love to invite Charlotte up to stage to tell me a little bit about your story. Come on up. So Charlotte, tell me a little bit about what's your experience been like so far at Summit?
Well, it was really exciting. I got to meet a lot of people, and well, they're all really nice, so I'm happy.
Good. And the sessions, a lot of material, a lot of new stuff. And you're very early in your career of learning the Citrix technologies.
Well, yeah, it's like all new to me, and it's really exciting to see what's all to come. And yeah, I really don't know what to say because it's my first time actually in the summit.
Yeah, great. Well, you know, there are many things that I found compelling and fun about your story. One of them is that you're actually doing that internship with your dad. Tell me a little bit about what it's like to work in the same company and what you guys are getting to do together.
Well, it's really fun. I get to walk a lot with my dad and go to clients with my dad. And yeah, I always scooch a little closer to my dad and try to give solutions to his problems. And well, it's really funny to see that sometimes it works.
Well, just before you came up here on stage, we were chatting with your dad, who shared with both of us the good news that he has signed you both up to come back to Synergy. Yeah. And so we're all thrilled that you'll be back at Synergy, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, thank you.
So,
I'm so sorry.
Thank you so much. Maybe we'll grab one more photo, and then we'll wish you all the best on your journey with Citrix. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. All right, that's awesome. And they're our guests for the show, and they'll be hooting and hollering in the front along with everybody else. So many of you know that this is our fourth Demo Warriors. It started a while back, about 5 years ago, when folks at the company started to really think about how we could improve the quality of the demos that we were doing and make them more targeted and more directed at customer scenarios. And there are many things in the art of a great demo. And you're going to see some really different examples today, some really, really great examples. But I really think it's important that if you put all your hard work as the product guy, if we put our blood, sweat, and tears into the product, and we put all our effort into our marketing campaigns, and we put all our effort into our go-to-markets and our sales, we absolutely need people on the front line who can really bring those products to life for customers. And the products really don't come to life until they're in your hands. And frankly, they don't come to life for me until they're in the hands of our customers doing the things that matter to their businesses. And so the demos you're about to see, I think they're all fun, they're all compelling, they're quite different. I know that some of the folks that are here, and John's already on stage getting warmed up, there's, let's say, support groups or fan clubs in the audience. I saw T-shirts all throughout the week. So here's what I want you guys to do in the audience, to be completely fair and to support these guys. When they come up on stage and they get introduced first by Summit, if you're part of the support group and you want to cheer and hoot and holler for your guy or your gal, go nuts. Everyone else, join in. It's a party. We're all having fun. And we can be all partisan during the demos, and when they're done, we can give them a great round of applause. But at the end of that, when it comes time to vote, I want you all to honestly set that aside and let's pick the winner based on what we saw here, who's best. So this is not the Eurovision. You're not voting for your own country. Half if you get that joke, the other half if you don't. Germany, nil point. But for the rest of you, just join in and let's make it a fair contest for everybody here. These guys have put in tons of effort already. Let's make sure we show them the support that they deserve, and let's pick a great winner at the end, because there is a little bit at stake. So let's be fair to everybody, okay? With that, I'm going to turn it over to Sumit to introduce the first one. Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you for that, PJ. That's wonderful, and it's always great to have a member of our ELT, our Chief Product Officer, be such a huge supporter of the program. So thank you again for doing that. Appreciate it. So really quickly, I just wanted to introduce John Moody. So here's one thing about me. I really enjoy the way that Europeans dress. It's fancy, it's nice, you know, it's just really bespoke, well-fitted clothes. So I see John this week, and he's been wearing just whether it's the Demoody Warrior t-shirts or these pretty loud shirts. So I was just chatting to him off stage, and I'm like, what is happening with that shirt? It's pretty loud. It's kind of terrible. And I'm like, are you a little bit of a comedian? Are you going for laughs up here?
Well, that's it. It is my comedy shirt. I am a part-time comedian outside of work.
So that's a true story.
Yeah, absolutely.
No pressure on the demo now.
No pressure whatsoever. No, it's hopefully you'll find these jokes funny. But no, it was a long 8-week journey, and we raised over £10,000 for charity last year. Put on a gig at the Glee Club in Nottingham. So yeah.
Right on. That's awesome, Tom. That's awesome. So as modest as he is up here, you know, one of the things that I've heard just talking to partners, talking to customers, and talking to your peers is that you know, you being the Northern EMEA, Northern Europe, is that?
Northern Europe,
Northern
yep.
Europe, okay. Northern Europe Pioneering Spirit Award winner. One of the things that you do extremely well is meaningful interactions with your customers, right? And what do you do to actually drive?
Oh, it's just so simple. It's just listening, right? Simple as that. Just listen.
Okay. And is that what your demo is going to be focused on?
We may touch on that a bit, yeah.
All right. Take it away, bud. Good luck.
Ooh.
All right, let's hear it for John.
So I'm not a cliched millennial. I like simplicity. I'm not about having the latest gadget. I'm very simple. I just want to use pen and paper. There's something very emotional about the written word. My most cherished possession is a handwritten letter my mother gave to me on my first day at university. You see, when we put pen to paper, something special happens. Because we cannot write as quickly as we can think, we have to consider our thoughts as we put them down. Researchers at Princeton and UCLA took a group of students. They gave one half laptops and the other half pen and paper. Upon testing them a week later, the students that had used pen and paper actually retained better understanding of complex information than those that had used a laptop. You see, when we type our notes verbatim, we get distracted by devices. We simply, So this research got me thinking about the meetings I go to. And as an SE in the UK, when you're sat in a meeting surrounded by devices, nobody's listening. How am I supposed to do my job when nobody's listening? So I decided to ditch the devices and go back to pen and paper. There is a problem, however, and that problem is security. See, with pen and paper, there is no password protection. There is no two-factor authentication. And let's be honest, it's fairly easy to lose a notebook. So what if there was a way we could wrap the secure digital workspace around pen and paper? So, so I use a reusable notebook. This is a Rocketbook, and it's connected to Citrix files. At the end of my meeting, I'm simply scanning my meeting notes. Oh, God, the nerves. Come on, John. So what you'll notice is that each icon represents one of my account managers. So I've been in my meeting, I've completed my meeting notes, and that has now scanned and gone up to share file. This hasn't worked once properly. So it does work. So we're just going to pretend there's some meeting notes on there, okay? Cool. Right, wrong way. So, how do I then secure my piece of paper? Well, that's quite simple. I just simply wipe the page clean. So what I've done is I've put the secure digital workspace around pen and paper. Imagine the possibilities. The doctor in the hospital visiting his patients doesn't want to use an intrusive device. He wants to talk to his patients. He wants that interaction. In the UK NHS alone, it would cost us $80 million to equip every single hospital consultant with an iPad. That's a lot of money not being spent on patient care. The environmental savings alone we could make by not sending laptops to landfill and just using a simple, cost-effective device that works for everybody. Thank you very much.
So, John, you know, we all have a little secret. I turned out to have a notebook that I carry also, and I'm one of those people that I think also appreciates the thought process and the writing process. So what you're talking about here really is that intersection of the physical world with the digital world, which is something that really Citrix has focused on for a long time. It's just another example, a really great example of that.
Absolutely, and I think we underestimate. My girlfriend, she works with a lot of vulnerable children, and she has stacks of notebooks. She just prefers to sit with a child with pen and paper. She doesn't want to have that laptop barrier between her and the child that she's talking to. And with this, we can still put that security that we need around it, right?
Yeah.
There's sensitive information in that stuff, so it's just being able to put that perimeter around it.
But what you're also highlighting is that as these devices that we have get more powerful and have cameras with really great image recognition, that there are new workflows we can build into product like Citrix Files where we automatically capture information, whether it's off a Rocketbook or off of a whiteboard or lots of other scenarios where we encounter information that we want to capture in some way in the business.
Let's bring back meaningful conversations, right?
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
when we have that laptop barrier between us, that fails every time.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Hey, how are you? Adrian. What do we got next, Adrian?
Hello. We've got Dawson next. Now, welcome, Dawson. How you doing?
I am well. Thank you. You guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, all right, cool.
So I've seen quite a few Vote for Dawson T-shirts. Where's that support? Yeah, there's a few over there. So it seems like you know a few people. For those that don't know you, can you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So my name is Dorson Delisle, and I am a sales engineer covering Boston Metro and Rhode Island, and I recently just picked up higher ed in New England. As a sales engineer, you know, part of my responsibilities is to deliver demos and POCs to our customers and help them to better understand how our solutions can help them with their business challenges.
Right. Now, I noticed that you've changed the name of your title. Why'd you do that?
Yeah, so the original title, I think a lot of people saw it out there. It wasn't very compelling. It kind of was a working title for me. Yeah. And I got inspired by my supporters out there and their T-shirts. So I decided to come up with a title I think better suits their T-shirts and an image that I think kind of helps as well too.
Napoleon Dynamite goes a long way.
Yeah, I think because in this demo we're going to be bringing things from on-prem and moving them to the cloud.
So, was that your original inspiration? What was it?
Well, yeah. So my inspiration for this demo in particular is that I've been working with Citrix Solutions since the turn of the century. Not that turn of the century, but that one. And we all remember that one, right? Kind of a scary time. And in that time, our customers have been facing a similar challenge. How do I take my golden image and how do I make it more portable? And with hybrid multi-cloud, how do I move that image to all the different clouds that I have to support?
Yep.
Well, we all know that Citrix Cloud is the fastest and easiest way to consume Citrix solutions, but it's also the fastest and easiest way to consume resources in other clouds. And when I talk to our customers, I find that many of them are facing a similar challenge. It's, I've got all these on-premise apps and desktops, and I just don't know how to move them to the cloud. So I sat back and I thought about it, and I thought to myself, well, I'd like to put together a demo that shows our customers how Citrix Cloud Services can help them with their journey to the cloud.
Right, all right. Sounds great. Let's see it.
All right, cool. All right, so here we have our Citrix Workspace experience. Our user is going to log on to the Citrix Workspace experience, and they're going to have their desktop. And when they log on, they're going to have all of the core apps that they need. It's going to be running from our data center in Massachusetts. Now, the bosses come in and said, we're growing at a very fast rate, and we're moving all of our apps and data to the cloud, and fast. So that presents a challenge for us. We've got all this stuff on-prem, and now we need to move it to the cloud somehow. So in this demo, what I'm going to show you guys is how in 3 easy steps we can move all our on-premise image to the cloud. Step 1, we're going to take the existing OS layer that we have. We'll create a new platform layer for Azure. It's going to have all of the configuration that Azure needs. Step 2, we're going to take that platform layer, and we're going to go ahead and create a new image template using that platform layer. And step 3, we're going to use MCS to deploy that image into Azure. You guys want to see it?
Yes.
All right. So here's step 1. We're going to go ahead and create a new image template. That image template is going to use the same OS layer that we used for our on-premise virtual app servers. We're going to identify Azure as our connector. We're going to specify MCS as our provisioning service, and Zen Desktop as the brokering service. The ELM is then going to go ahead and push that image up into Azure, right? Once it's uploaded into Azure, wait for this to finish uploading here. We're going to go ahead and log on to that VM. We're going to do a few things like joining it to the domain. Installing any management tools that we might need, and making any configuration changes needed for Azure. We're also going to install the VDA. Now, we're going to point that VDA to the cloud connector that's running in our Azure resource location. Once it's done, the ELM is going to reach back out to Azure, finalize that VM, and bring it back down on-premise. It's going to do its ELM magic and get it ready to be used as an image template. Step 2, we're going to create a new image template. We're going to base it on the image template that we've already created. So we're going to clone the image template. We're going to make some changes to it. We're going to change the name of it. We're going to add some additional apps, because the boss said we need some more apps up there too. We'll go ahead and identify Azure as our connector again. And then we're going to specify the platform layer we just created. The ELM, once again, is going to go ahead and upload that image into Azure and get it ready for us to use. Step 3, we're going to go to the cloud, to the Citrix Studio and the Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service, and we're going to create a new machine catalog. That machine catalog is going to use the image template that we just uploaded into Azure. We'll do a couple of things like identify the number of machines that we want and the configuration and size of those machines from the Azure catalog. We'll join it to the proper domain, specify a naming convention for those machines, drop it into the proper OU, and then let MCS go ahead and create those machines for us in Azure. And you'll see that this part happens really quick, right? We know how fast It does that copying of the image, right? That goes really fast. Watch how fast it goes here. You guys are going to be impressed. Look. There you go. Finally, we're going to go ahead and update our delivery group to use the new VMs we just created in Azure. So let's see what that looks like. Again, we're going to log on to the Citrix workspace. The experience is going to be the same for the user. They'll see that same desktop, except when they log on this time, now they're going to see the apps that we added to that virtual machine. The old apps are still running and performing just as they did before. The only difference is that this image now is running in our Azure resource location. So there you have it. 3 easy steps to move your image to Azure. Step 1, create a platform layer. Step 2, create an image template. And step 3, use MCS to deploy that image into Azure. Now, you might be thinking, that was cool, but there's no way you can take my on-premise image and move it to the cloud in less than 5 minutes. And you might be right. But if you look at the time steps in the recorded VMs, you will see that I did do it in less than 6 hours. Now, when you take a task that normally takes weeks or months, and you get it down to less than 6 hours, that's a demo that's going to leave an impact with your customers. So the next time your customer says to you, how do I move my image to the cloud? You show them this demo, and you tell them, this is how I like to move it. Thanks for watching my demo.
Nice job. I loved all the places where you made the video go a little faster than real time.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've seen people unbox an iPhone on YouTube that took longer than that. So.
It took a little bit of practice to get my editing skills just right.
But look, I think the point is you hit all of the high notes, all the places in the demo, and sometimes we get bogged down in all the details. They don't all matter equally in the process of a demo. You really have to know what are the high notes that you're hitting. And so going through this, breaking it down, anything that's in 3 easy steps, I can remember.
Right.
And so breaking it down into easy steps and making it repeatable, because we know this is something that's going to happen over and over and over again, and getting a reliable, repeatable process for doing it, having a great demo that shows that, I think that's terrific.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Okay. How are we doing?
We're doing well, I think. A
Good.
couple of technical difficulties, but nothing a couple SEs can't handle.
We're going to have to keep it moving, but I'm not doing that.
All right. There we go. All right. You want to come over here, Tanya, so we can get you?
Can you guys hear me? Yeah.
We can hear you. So Tanya is our third demo warrior. So it's really kind of an interesting week for you, not only from just a perspective of learning brand new information, but it's also kind of a big anniversary here at Citrix, right?
It is. Yeah, it's my 5-year anniversary on Sunday.
We are keeping and retaining young talent. This is fabulous. So over the course of the last 5 years, you've kind of had an interesting journey. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I was in Citrix Consulting. Do we have consulting out here? I was in Citrix Consulting for 3 years of my career here at Citrix, and then the last 2 years have been at this pre-sales position.
Oh, so you're trying to pump up the entire crowd, trying
Yes.
to cover the entire spectrum. That's smart. That was good. So, an interesting thing that when we were talking a little bit off stage here, you are just going to go for it. I mean,
Yep.
you're doing the live demo.
Yep, a real SE would never play a video. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yikes.
No, jokes aside, I trust our products. They are amazing products. I do live demos in front of customers all the time, so.
All right, we'll ask Christian Riley how it goes at the end of this. Right? All right, so what are you going to focus on today?
So today I'm focusing a lot on, it's a great example of the general purpose concept that we're talking about in all of the keynotes. So this is just one use case that all of you guys can use as a great example.
All right, let's hear it for Tanya. Take it away.
Today, I'll tell you about a frustrating process made much simpler with Citrix, dealing with the insurance company after a car accident. Let's just say that I've been through this a few times in my life, but it wasn't always my fault. So I'm running late to a meeting, stuck in typical Atlanta traffic. It could be caused by rush hour, by 1 inch of snow, or The Walking Dead. You just never know when it comes to Atlanta. I'm inching my way down the interstate when my phone rings. The secure mail app shows me that David Henshaw is calling. Cool, right? I didn't even have his number stored on my phone. Then I start to get a bit flustered. What could David Henshaw possibly need from me? And then bam, I slam my car into the guy in front of me. Great, now I'm definitely gonna be late to this meeting. I don't know what's worse, rear-ending someone or ignoring a call from the CEO of our company. I use the feeds page on Secure Mail to take a quick look at the meeting invite. With the click of a button, my coworkers can know that I'm running late. So we'll go to our meeting invite, hit running late, and then fire it off. And then I pull over. I call my insurance company, and like a good neighbor, my agent arrives at the scene with an iPad to assess the damage. The nerd inside of me wonders if it's a BYO. She says it's her own tablet, but she can still securely access all of her corporate applications and data in one place. It's called Citrix Workspace. It's so easy, a caveman could do it. I can see the corporate apps and desktops that she has access to. Her workspace also includes a section for her files, where she navigates to a folder that was created by her claims team so that they could all collaborate together on my claim. She starts to edit her document, so just based on the information that she's gathered from her trip out here, she can go ahead and make some changes. And then she can save those changes so that her team at the office can then see them and start working on the claim. Now, when she's done, she wants to send me a copy of the draft so that I could start reviewing it as well. So she simply shares emails with Citrix files. She'll put in my email address, and then she'll mention that it's a draft. Now, because it's a draft, her company's data security policies require her to put a watermark on the document as well. So easily, she can do that right from her iPad. She'll go ahead and hit done, and then she'll fire it off. Now, I finally make my way back to the office. I check my email. Looks like there's her draft. It just came through. I can go ahead and take a look at it. All right, John, I know how you feel. So once that loads, you'll notice that, go ahead. All right, so once that loads, you'll notice that the document will have a watermark on it with today's date and time. And it'll also, if I try to download the document, Citrix's information rights management will automatically convert it to a PDF so that I can't make any changes. So it started off as a Word document and then moved over to a PDF. All right, so in the meantime, Jake from State Farm calls. He says, I need to approve the final claims document that his team has already completed. I can't take any more time off just to go all the way to their office and sign some paperwork. He says, I can actually just do it right from my computer. I don't even need to install any additional software. I can just do it on my browser. So what he does, he goes to the shared folder that Flo had access to, the same folder. He'll go ahead and initiate an approval. He'll just put a date on it just to make sure that I get it done on time, and then he'll put in my email address just to email it to me, and then he'll ask me to approve it. So we'll go ahead and start the workflow. And then just like he said, I can go ahead and check my email for that workflow. Let's take a look at it. I can review the document. There we go. All the changes that I told them to make, they're in there, everything looks good, I can go ahead and approve it. And my submission has been recorded. Now, if we look at the other draft that Flo had sent me, it would have had a watermark on it. And if I try to download it, you'll notice that it'll convert it to a PDF, which is pretty cool, from a Word document to a PDF, just because of the IRM. So dealing with archaic methods of completing an insurance claim could have taken weeks. Trust me, I've done it before. Providing insurance agents with corporate apps to BYO, on a BYO device, folder collaboration with their team members, data security with IRM, and online approval workflows makes their lives and my life so much easier. This is just one of the many digital workspaces that are created every day with Citrix. With better car replacement, they even upgraded my ride after the accident. Mayhem is everywhere. Make sure you're in good hands with Citrix.
First of all, props for live demos. Gotta say, props for live demos. I did blush a little bit, but that's okay. Great job, by the way.
Thank you.
You know, it's a really good real-world example that sort of marries together many of our products and capabilities.
Yep.
You know, if there's one thing that's sort of hidden underneath your demo, it's this idea of security.
Yep.
And you know, whether it's insurance claims forms, or it's medical documents, or it's a contract that's going from a lawyer's office, the fact that we have embedded security, in a way it's invisible to the user.
Right.
It's also one of the hidden benefits. And so a great demo focused very much on trying to, you know, complete the task and have the user be productive. But it also secretly, you know, highlights a whole bunch of other technologies and capabilities as well.
For sure, yep.
So great job.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let's move over.
Adrian, what have we got here?
Thanks, PJ. We have Tony from EMEA, I think. It's an English accent, right?
It is. I'm from London.
You are from London, but
Yep.
where are you situated?
I live in Slovakia.
Slovakia. Where is that?
Which is not Slovenia.
Right.
It's not Czechoslovakia. It's Slovakia. Central Europe. Central Europe. Get it right.
Okay, so for those that don't know, what do you do for Citrix?
I'm an architect manager, networking architect manager in consulting.
Right.
Not
right.
in sales.
And Tony's actually a second-time finalist. He was in the final last year. He's in this year. And last year we spoke about fire eating as your hobby.
It was. It got too dangerous.
You don't do it anymore. You're not going
If
you're not going to up tenure with a fire eating.
No, if you blow or breathe, it's a big difference. So
Right. So what do you do for fun now?
I jog.
You jog.
But I think of fire eating when I'm jogging. So it keeps me going.
All right. Well, let's hear it for Tony.
So I'm on the lookout for James Lee. He's one of our great SEs from Asia-Pac region. He did a fantastic demo with SD-WAN 3 years ago called Cut the Cord. And what he did, he took an SD-WAN branch box and he cut one of the WAN links with a big pair of wire cutters. And Schwabe has used that demo in Summit 3 years ago. Very convincing demo. And nothing happened to the user experience because everything flowed over the other WAN link. Trouble is, some of our competitors can do that exact same demo today. There's nothing that special. So they're doing that demo to your potential customers. That's not good. So what is different about Citrix SD-WAN? We know always on is so important. All of the demos today need a network, a good network. Well, there's a couple of elephants in the room. That's why I'm wearing this hat, actually. I'm not looking for James Lee. Two pretty big elephants. First one, the fact that most enterprises send all of their data back to the data center. Not just data center traffic, but all the cloud and app traffic, SaaS traffic. That's fine in the POCs that USEs do. I'm in consulting, doesn't scale. Enterprises have 20, 50, 100, 500 branches sending all of their traffic to the data center. It's crazy. So what can we do about it? Well, Citrix version 10 has a feature called application steering. Supports more than 4,000 different apps, and it's done on a signature basis, not just DNS or IP address. So it's clever. Here I've set up a rule for Salesforce. So now, When I go to Salesforce from a branch office, it breaks straight out. Unknown traffic will still go back by the data center because you want to layer in 7, inspect it. That's fine. And if you really want to save bandwidth, you could even have a rule for YouTube. So your users can watch old editions of Love Boat from The Office. No one is worried. It works. That's fine, but got to change hats. There's another elephant in the room, the second one. That green line is the internet. Hang on, you're running business-critical apps on the internet. There's no SLAs on the internet. You can have latency, jitter. It may not work even. If you're a big Azure customer, Workspace in Azure, DAS in Azure, which is hundreds of thousands of customers, how can you guarantee any quality? You can't. You have to get an express route from Microsoft. It's like a dedicated link into the Microsoft network. It's very expensive, and it literally takes 3 months to get running. Hardly agile for an enterprise. So what can we do? Citrix to the rescue. Again, version 10 of SD-WAN supports something called Azure Virtual WAN. Citrix is one of only a few vendors with this feature. It means we have a direct SD-WAN tunnel, secure tunnel, into the nearest point of presence at Microsoft. They've got more than 130 POPs throughout the world. So you can be sure you've got a POP local to yourself. So your branch office in Beijing will connect to a POP in Beijing. Your traffic is not going to route around the internet to the East Coast USA. Less latency, more speed. User experience, the best you can get. And if you've got an office, for the US guys, in New York, you connect to the POP on East Coast USA. Maximum user experience. You then go across Microsoft's global network to where your Azure is actually running. It could be running in Asia. You connect to the network in New York. Perfect. And if I really want to lose Demo Warrior, I could say the same for Washington. Connect in Washington, across the POP, perfect experience. But I won't wear that. So that's all the theory. Unfortunately, it's not a live demo because I'm not an SE, so I'm allowed to do a canned demo. So I've got the 3 scenarios here. So first is hairpinning into the data center. Version 9 of SD-WAN doesn't scale. Second, application steering. So we break out our known SaaS apps straight to the internet from the branch. Saves that backhauling. And finally, Azure Virtual WAN. It's where we've got a secure SD-WAN tunnel directly into our local POP. Maximum performance for Azure. So I'm going to fire these off. They're recorded. And you'll see, I've clicked them all, hopefully at the same time. Azure Virtual WAN, straight away. It's something like a 2 to 4 times speed up. Because you know you're connecting across the internet, maybe 3 or 4 hops, not 20 hops to the other side of the world. Next up, application steering is faster. It's not as faster than backhaul. It's workable. And finally, hairpinning in the data center. Actually here, data center's overloaded. It does load eventually. So which one do you want your users to get? Obviously the third one. So users, we've moved on from cut the cloud, cut the cord. We've now got the new features. So if you want your enterprise to have an on-prem experience, but in the cloud, they need Citrix SD-WAN. Thank you. Thank you.
Nice job, Tony. Great demo. Love the hats, by the way. Love the hats. But all seriousness, like a really important demo. And I think one of the key things here is, you know, in product and engineering, we continue to try to evolve the products and add new capabilities. But that means it's sort of on you guys to update demos. You can't just keep demoing the product the old way.
3 years old, that demo.
Yeah. But and the problem is people catch up. They see the demo, they understand what's fun, they understand what's cool about it, they replicate it, just like they try to replicate our features. So when we add new capability to products, make new demos, build demos that highlight the new exciting capabilities. This is a market-leading capability right now.
One of the few preferred partners.
One of the few, and well, not only that, but we actually have a particularly special relationship with Microsoft that's both true in our field and the Microsoft field. So this is one that I hope we really leverage in the next year. So great job, Tony. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
All right, Sumit.
Okay.
How are we doing?
We're doing great, I think.
Good.
Can everyone hear? Oh, there we go. We're doing great. So I think that this is our final demo. And I wanted to introduce Brian to all of you that don't know him. So Brian, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
I'm from the ANZ region, and I'm part of the APJ team, so part of consulting services. I'm an enterprise architect.
I did notice that you spoke differently than me. You know?
Yes.
Woo! So, an interesting thing, for those of you that have watched Demo Warrior over the years, I typically end up getting paired with the Aussie, right? So first it was Wade Visser, who's like 6'7", then it was Aaron Robinson, who's like 6'4", Adrian 6'5". You're the smallest Aussie I've ever met.
You're the shortest American I've ever met.
That's fair. That's fair. So what are you going to show us today, Brian?
So look, a lot of times we go out and we talk to our customers and they say, look, the millennials are entering the workforce. The millennials are entering the workforce. Now, I said, I'm a millennial. So how about, I take you guys on a journey around how, technology revolves around my life as opposed to my life revolving around work. So that's what I'm going to demonstrate to you today. And it's going to be features of the Citrix General Purpose Workspace. So I hope you enjoy it. Should I say, I hope you all enjoy it.
Thanks, Brian. Let's hear it for Brian, guys.
Cheers. I can't see it down there. I can't see it. Okay. Hey everybody, my name is Brian D'Souza. Can we go?
Talk about something. Tell them.
And I'm an enterprise architect here at Citrix in Australia. Full screen. Hey everybody, my name is Brian D'Souza, and I'm an enterprise architect here at Citrix in Australia. Now, some people say that my generation, being a millennial, are a disengaged generation. That we're not up at 6 a.m. in the morning, we're not at our desk at 8:30. But I don't believe that's the case. I believe we're misunderstood because people just don't understand the way we like to work. So if you give me a few moments of your time, myself and my helper Brian on stage are going to show you what our workspace really is all about. Hey everybody, I'm Brian, and together we're going to take you on a journey into our world. So how about we go check it out? Cool, let's go. So the workspace has changed a lot over the last couple of years. We started off in factories where people used to go to work at the same time every day, using the same tools to do the same task. And if you think about it, in today's day and age, not much has changed. We all still go to work to use the same apps and documents and tools to get our job done. But a diverse workforce is coming, and they demand a digital workspace solution that not only adapts to their life, but acts as like a general purpose hub for everything. We've got to grab the coffee with that client at about 10 o'clock. You want to go? Yeah, sure, let's go. Awesome. Let's hit the road, let's go. So, being an enterprise architect, I'm constantly on the road meeting a lot of my customers. And when I'm on the go, I use a tool known as the Citrix Workspace to keep me connected. So here I am in a coffee shop. I got here a couple of minutes early. I use a web browser to browse to my Citrix Workspace. You can see my apps, my desktops, and my documents. For now, I'm going to launch a Citrix desktop session. While I wait for my client to arrive, I'm also going to go and launch a SaaS app like Salesforce. You can see when I click on the desktop session, there's my document in the same context in which I left it in. And if I flick over to Salesforce in the top corner over here, you'll notice it uses a built-in secure browser to secure my connection. Take a note of the watermark on the screen. From there, I can review my opportunities notes and make sure I'm prepared for the next meeting. Simple as that. So hey Brian, now that work's done, at 5:45 on your way home, you have an urgent email to reply to. So you may need to pull over and answer that. Can you do that? Yeah, sure. Awesome, you're gonna use your workspace. Yeah. Great. So, it's 5 o'clock on a Friday, and in Australia, we call that beer o'clock. So cheers. Now, the last thing I want to do is be stuck in the office, okay? So, on my way home, I decided to hop in the car, pull over safely, obviously not touching my phone at any point, but rather than using a laptop, I use my phone. And what I do is I navigate to my Citrix workspace. Notice it's contextually aware based on the device I'm using. Rather than using Outlook instead, I choose to use a more native version, something known as Secure Mail. I launch the app, and from there, I navigate to that most important email that I need to answer. I can see there's an attachment. I load it, and I browse through it, making sure I get every dot point. Because being an enterprise architect, it's all about accuracy. I can choose to share it, but in this case, I don't need to. I go back, and I simply reply and say, this document looks great. Multicultural emoji. Please send. Thanks, Brian. Simple as that. Now, it's the weekend. It's my time. It's family time, but most importantly, it's beach time. So rather than, putting my work on hold because customers need us to do some work when we're on the go, instead, I go down to the beach with my family. And while they're having a good time at the beach, I pull over to the side when I have a moment. I launch my workspace on my iPad, and then, because I want to see what incidents are currently occurring with some customers I'm working on, I browse to ServiceNow and I launch it. You'll see that I didn't get prompted for a username and password. Why? Because of single sign-on. Amazing. Now, from there, I can browse to whatever incidents that are happening, make sure everything is looking right, double check, yep, there's an escalation engineer handling that, perfect. Now that I'm done, I can turn it off and I can get back to my family time. So the point that I'm trying to make to you here today is work is no longer a place that you go to. Work is something that we all do. And by using a service like the Citrix Workspace, not only are you doing more better, you are doing life better. You're being more productive, you're being more efficient. And most importantly, you need these qualities to be productive in this ever-changing world. That's Melbourne, by the way. Because at the end of the day, it's not about supporting people like myself as millennials. But at the end of the day, it's also about catering for what I call the generation variable, which is each and every one of you here in front of me. This is the Citrix Workspace, this is the future of the work, and this is how you can do more better. Thank you.
Great job, great job. Fun demo, you weaved in a lot of very interesting things, but at the end of the day, I look at these demos and I say, why do they relate to customers? Because the tasks that are at the heart, answering an email when you're offline and away from the desk, being easily able to move a workflow forward with the rest of your team, approve something that's important, just stay on top of things, get notified of things that really matter. These are fundamental tasks, and they transcend all industries, they transcend all job roles, and really, I think demos that speak to not maybe the esoteric part of some job, but really the commonality of how we all work. I think that's what makes the demos like this really powerful. So great job, thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
So with that, I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to get up my spreadsheet and work on the numbers. We'll talk about voting in a little while, but I'm going to invite Sumit back to stage. See you all in a little while.
Hey, thank you, PJ. So before I hand the reins over, I did tell everyone that there was going to be live voting. So we are using technology to do the vote here instead of backstage or Sales IQ. So for those of you that have any mobile device, you can go to sli.do. It's an app-friendly, mobile-friendly website, and you use #DemoWarrior. Please, as PJ said, take a look and think about over the next session that we're going to be running with Christian Riley, think about not only what he's saying, but also about what demo was best, right? And feel free to take a minute and vote as well. So we will be announcing the winner at the end of today, so you guys are participating in a very live vote. It's very exciting. So with that, I would like to introduce everyone's favorite tattooed CTO, who's going to come up here and spend the next 30 minutes telling us what you do for a living. Is that right? Yeah, all right.
All right.
All right, thank
This
you.
will be a
Bud. Well,
revelation for PJ as well. So.
Thanks, bud. You're over here.
That wasn't a very big welcome, was it? Should we just...
That is kind of weak sauce here.
Should we just bin this off and do something else? Okay.
Yeah.
So before I get started, a couple of things. Firstly, Charlotte, you're awesome, you're an inspiration. So I'm going to commit to come to the Netherlands to give you, on your own, with your dad, a full day of my CTO time to run you through everything that this company does. Secondly, this is partly an overview of the CTO office, and it's partly a recruitment exercise. The only entry credential you need to work in the CTO office is to have failed with a demo on stage. So Moody, where are you? Tanya, where are you? You start on Monday, welcome. So thanks, Hector, for giving me the opportunity just to talk a little bit about this. No, I often ask at this point for the people that are in the CTO office just to stand up or show their hands. And what's supposed to happen is you're all supposed to do it, because ultimately, one way or another, you are all an integral part of what we do, whether you are out in the field, whether you're in the partner organization. Absolutely critically important that you guys are our eyes and ears in the field. And it really, really, really matters to us, to PJ, to the rest of the leadership team, to get your consistent feedback. So some of you who've been around in Citrix for a while will know that we kind of had a CTO office historically, and then as we went through some of the changes that we made within the organization, sort of rethinking and rebooting Citrix, we changed the organization from the CTO perspective to look a little bit differently than the last one. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time today just kind of talking through what it is that we do, how we're structuring the team, what we've been working on in the last couple of years to kind of build up to the announcement that PJ made in his keynote about the two sides of the CTO office. And we're going to focus largely today on the field side, because all you guys, as I said before, are extremely important to what we do in the CTO team. So if you look at what we try and do, the contributions and the goals, it's extremely important from our customer point of view that they have a reliable CTO office. So most of the people that are in the CTO office at the moment were a customer or have been a customer in very recent times. And that's important because we need that credibility when we engage with customers at the C-level, when we take some of those sales priorities that you heard Ferrer and Ekabachi and Sharif and Colin talk about, which is engagement with the C-suite. You can't do that without credibility. So as we build up the CTO office, as we build more and more components of that, we build more people in that, we need the top talent to come into the organization. There's an inside view and there's an outside view of what we do within the CTO office. Our goal ultimately in all that we're trying to do is to position Citrix as thought leaders, as trusted advisors, and as innovators. Sure, you guys see in every engagement that you have, the customers are rapidly evolving, not just from a technology perspective, but from a business model perspective. And customers don't buy products. Customers buy people, and customers buy solutions. So that's why you'll hear us spend a lot of time talking to customers about their challenges, talking about their vision for their business, and then fitting our conversations and our engagements with them to those specific contexts for each customer. From a very high level, there's kind of two sides of the CTO office, and I wanted just to kind of paint this picture for you guys a little bit, because I'm sure that maybe you're not entirely familiar with how the rest of the organization comes together under PJ and Jeroen, under Tim Minahan, and of course under Mark Ferrer. So on the left-hand side here, we have the core CTO team. So we're really aligned with Tim Minahan on that side of the office because we want to understand the 3-year business strategy that Tim owns and turn that into a 3-year technology vision. You can only have a credible technology vision if you also have the other side of that equation. There's no point us building products that customers don't want or customers don't need. So we have to use those engagements with our customers, those strategic conversations, to help us align on both sides. The technology vision to where the company wants to go and the technology vision to where our customers need to go. And inside of that slightly different lens on 12 months of execution, which is what PJ and Jeroen run quarterly with the QPEC event, really helps to guide what they do on a quarterly basis, what the product and engineering teams do, but also to link it back to that 3-year strategy. And the 3-year strategy is really important as we elevate conversations to the C-suite, because CIOs don't think in quarters, they think in years. We also have some critical linkage to other parts of the organization. So within that 3-year technology vision, understanding what our M&A targets are, how we make those decisions about who to buy, whether that's a large acquisition or whether that's a smaller tech tuck-in. And on the other side, of course, we're engaged with you guys, sales and services. So without you, without your help, without us extending our presence into your world, we cannot, absolutely cannot, do what we need to do to meet the demands of the customers. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're doing, what the structure is, and what our goals are for 19. And remember that most of this conversation for you guys in the room is really aimed at trying to enable you to be successful. You're an extension of us, and also we are an extension of you. So any time that you have a requirement for strategic engagements with customers, please, please use us. That's what we're there for. So PJ laid this out in the keynote, talking about where we fit in the overall stage of product and where we fit within the sales engagement and the customer management cycle. This is also critically important because as we move towards selling more and more subscriptions, it's absolutely critical that the customers leverage the value that's inherent in the subscription. So the customer engagement doesn't end with the deal. It actually starts with the deal. Because more so than ever in a subscription world, customers will not tolerate shelfware. So it's extremely important that when we make the sale, we need to continue to work the deal, work the customer engagement to make sure that they're receiving the best value from the subscription that they have. So a lot of this will become much clearer as we go through 19. How we interface with you guys, how we interface with customer success. But please use us. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you guys to be successful with the C-suite engagements, whether that's through EBCs, whether that's through one-on-one meetings. We're there to make you guys successful. So jokingly, Samit said, what do you guys do? So this is kind of what the CTO office looks like from a day-to-day perspective. So at any one time, anybody within the CTO office could be working on one or more things that go up, down, left, and right on this map. And this isn't really intended to be something that you guys have to study, but just to kind of show you how far we reach across the organization. So of course, we're very closely linked to the product organization, very closely linked to the engineering organization, but more so than ever linked to the field organization, to Hector's world, to Ferrer's world, to Ekabachi, to Sharif, to Colin's world. And also in some areas, corporate finance and legal, we do a lot of the inbound licensing that comes from our OEM vendor technology. So there's lots and lots of things that we get involved in on an everyday basis. But throughout 19, one of our main focus areas on the field CTO side will be to formalize our engagement a lot more with all of the Geo AVPs, engaging with our friends in marketing as well, of course, but really aimed at making you guys successful by enabling you to have access to our resources, our skills, and our experiences to really help you drive much more strategic engagements with customers. For anybody that was asleep during the sales keynotes, they're the 5 sales priorities for 2019. The general purpose workspace, landing dormant accounts, leading with Citrix Cloud, controlling the deal, and winning networking with hybrid multi-cloud. These are things that matter to customers. We see it over and over and over again. Our message is strong. It resonates with every customer. But more so than ever, it's extremely important that we get on the strategic agendas of CIOs. It's fine to sell in to the technical people, but where the change is really happening is at the CIO level. The former CTO office didn't have much of a great link to the product team, so that's why we've kept the current CTO office under the product organization, because what you guys help us to bring back from customers finds its way into the product cycle. As we move to Workspace, as we move to cloud services, no longer can we have individual product groups doing individual product silo things. We have to think about these as integrated solutions. So in some cases, we play agitator, we play devil's advocate, all in a very good-natured way, to make sure that we're representing what our customers do within PJ's organization. And the same is true for engineering. We don't have an R&D team within the CTO office, so most of the R&D is done through the engineering team. Yet it's really important that we understand what it is that customers want. We could spend a lot of time and effort prototyping things that nobody would ever want. So that validation, that advocacy, through us, extremely important for not just you guys, but also for the next generation of products and services. We want to make sure that everything that we invest a dollar in is useful to every customer. And for the 3-year technology vision, anybody ever had a conversation with the customer who've asked for a technology vision or a roadmap? Anybody been disappointed when we've not been able to deliver that? So it's really important because as we move up the value chain within the customer organization, we need to have solid, reliable visions and roadmaps that we can all stand behind. Not just a random PowerPoint from Christian that talks about the future, but things that we truly believe we're going to do and things that customers will see the benefit of in those 3-year subscriptions or 5-year subscriptions that they're signing up to. So if you take a kind of a very simple look at what we're trying to do here, so we're partly on the roadmap, partly off the roadmap. Most of the things that we do from the top down there, certainly on the green side, are extremely important to the here and now. But again, as I mentioned, CIOs are more interested in where is Citrix going? What are you guys going to deliver? Not what do you have to sell out of the cart today? So remembering that this balance is really important, the feedback is super critical. Everything that you learn in the field is super critical to us making a decision one way or the other. And we want you guys to help us influence. You are the influencers, the advocates in the field, in our customers, in our partner organizations. We rely on your feedback. I can't say this enough. Without you guys, we're just going to invent things and we have absolutely no barometer of whether they're going to work or not. So finally, just a quick view of the operating model. You'll notice up there that there are some open positions, and I know there are some very smart people in this room. So I wouldn't directly poach your people, Hector, but if anybody fancies a change of career, just give Hector and I a call and we'll have a good discussion. So the skills in the CTO office are relatively unique based on the people that we have, based on the experiences. We have people who've been CTOs in large customers. We have people who've come from our M&A world. We have lots of very interesting people that are all available for you guys to help you win and be successful throughout 2019. So I'm going to close with that. I just hope we're going to give you guys a little bit of view of what it is that we do and where we're trying to head. I know a lot of people always ask me, hey, can you come and do this? Can you come and do that? The CTO office is bigger than just me, but the intent of what we're trying to do is really, as I said before, just to help you guys to be successful and ultimately to help Citrix be successful. So with that, I'm going to bring back up my boss, who now knows what I do for a living. And hopefully he's aligned with it. He's nodding there, I think. Yes, he is. Excellent. So again, Charlotte, you pick the day. You let me know. You've got my card. I'll come and give you a full day of CTO-ness. Take you through the entire portfolio, give you some ideas about how you can accelerate your flight into Citrix, and hopefully that will be valuable for you. So thank you for coming and being our special guest today. And with that, PJ.
Thank you, Christian. Maybe we'll just take a moment. Look, I think the work that your team does is critical, and we need to continue to invest in the CTO office in multiple areas. You know, we saw images getting cloned. Turns out we can't clone people. And so we do need to grow our footprint in the CTO office if we really want to provide global coverage to customers. And I'm sure you'd like maybe fewer air miles and have a few more people on the team that are distributed to meet with our customers and who are familiar with their local issues as well as with our global capability. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's as I say, you know, we travel the world a lot, but we don't have the inherent tribal knowledge of everywhere that we work, and that's really, really important. Anything from compliance issues or regulatory issues, or, you know, I was in South Africa. Any South African guys in here? Yeah, so I was in South Africa a few weeks ago. If I hadn't gone there, I wouldn't have learned just how buoyant the market is and how ready for cloud. And that gives us some thoughts about, you know, should we have a conversation now about potentially some Citrix Cloud Control Plane elements inside of South Africa to accelerate that market? We're blind to that without the help. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, looking forward to a great year.
Thank you very much.
Team.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thanks.
I hold in my hand. So I'm back on stage to announce the winner. Before I do that, can we just give everybody who demoed a tremendous round of applause? This is a fun event, but you can imagine that, you know, not only do the presenters put a ton of work into it, but as Hector mentioned, the organization of an event like this, and I just want to thank all the organizers, Smith, Adrian, and the rest of the team who pulled this off. A great event, and I think a great way to cap ServTech here. So thanks to you again for the event. And now, without my auditor and E&Y guy standing next to me, allow me to open the envelope and find out who it is that is the winner of Demo Warriors for this year. I'm pleased to announce that the winner is Tanya. Come on up, come on up. Congratulations. It's a beautiful certificate. Well done. Congratulations again. Thank you, everybody. Have a great year. See you all at Synergy. Thank you.